Hello guys, I'm Nintendo LP Z-Dude, here with the second episode of Z-Dude Casts, here with my usual guest,
I'm Dave.
and a special guest here with us today. You may know him from some Pikmin 3 theories and whatnot. Introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? It's Daz here, but you don't really care.
And we're going to be talking about the this past E3. We're going to try to sum up everything as we can go along. So, well, let's start off with Pikmin 3 information since that's what Daz is really big on. So, anybody want to start off with that?
I'll let Dave start.
But I don't know what to say.
Me neither.
Olimar! Olimar appears in Pikmin 3!
Yep, bingo battle mode. At
And
least.
according to Miyamoto, it's also story mode.
Yeah,
Are you
bit
excited?
strange. I'm not sure how that's gonna work.
I sense a actor story type thing. Where it'll be in story mode, but it'll probably be near the end or in the end or like after the story, but still in like story mode, emphasis on story being a single player type thing.
Alright.
Perhaps he's on some sort of vacation. Permanent vacation.
Got
Cat
fired?
Oh,
boss, I like the Pikmin more than I like this company. I quit.
What about his wife and his kids and his family and Bulby?
well,
Just like, I only
Um,
dedicated 5 years of my life to them.
hmm.
5
Well,
years.
based on his appearance, he doesn't appear to have aged much between 2 and 3, which means a good thing that there's not much passage of time, so perhaps his family comes with him.
Hmm.
That could be. I mean, Nintendo's quite hides their tracks really well.
So what about the actual Copaians, as I call them? What do you think they're like gonna do in the story other than just collect fruits? Because there seems to be some sort of story, because each day has a chapter. So what do you think actually happens with them?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's something more along the lines of Paper Mario type thing. That would be interesting.
Hmm, that would be cool, actually.
Yeah. You know, where it's like how in Paper Mario you start a chapter and the title has something to do with it, and then you go off, you do it, and then I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it goes, but during each day you must still collect fruit.
Yeah, I've always been curious, actually, because obviously the whole of Copai is starving. What would actually happen in the bad ending? Because I doubt Nintendo would have the game show that the whole planet just dies of starvation.
You'd probably just get a game over, if anything. I wouldn't be too surprised if they go that way. I mean, Nintendo, as you said, isn't really big on bad endings, so I think they'll probably just say game over and you continue from where you last saved or something.
Ah, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, either that or a checkpoint.
Hmm.
Pikmin 1 had a bad ending. That was pretty bad. You die and turn into a Pikmin.
Yeah, I guess.
It,
That's not really dying. It's like, actually,
it's being reincarnated.
yeah. Although no one's able to pluck on him, so maybe he does. Just he's not dead, but he's not alive because he can't do anything.
Maybe a Pikmin's saving him and a Pikmin is on top of him.
Hmm.
Doubt we'll ever get the answer in that one because that timeline obviously didn't occur.
Yeah.
What
Well,
about Pikmin 4? Do you people think Pikmin 4 will appear, or do you think Pikmin 3 is the last one?
it depends on the sales of Pikmin 3. But then again, I was reading something on my Nintendo news, and Miyamoto said that he doesn't like to focus too much on sales because he finds that if you focus on sales entirely and just trying to earn profit, it's silly. So I think in the end, if they find people are having fun with Pikmin 3 and it sells well, but for the most part they're having fun with it, they'll make Pikmin 4.
I do feel this game, though, in the beginning, Pikmin was going to be a trilogy, and he stated that multiple times. I do not think he would change his mind.
Hmm.
Do you think he could make a spin-off then? that's not quite part of the trilogy, but sort of that sort of aspect of controlling an army.
Definitely.
I actually think Pikmin 3 could be considered not part of the trilogy. Because if anything, I would imagine the trilogy be one, like the last game in the trilogy, focusing on Olimar as the main character, if anything.
Well, Miyamoto did hint that in the story that Olimar would sort of have some sort of storyline intertwined with the characters somehow.
Yeah, that's true, but yeah, I'm just not sure. Maybe it could. It could be something like that, like where it's like a spin-off. I wouldn't be too surprised. Maybe in Pikmin 4 they let you're maybe the captain or something. That'd be interesting.
I always find it strange seeing like my me on something else, like it's not its own body. I don't know why. I just find it really creepy. But I think I'm the only one. Like everyone else is like, "Oh, cool, it's my me. It looks like me," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't look like me. It's just creepy."
I some Go, Dave.
No, I said I agree.
Yeah, I agree to a point. I mean, if it's Animal Crossing New Leaf, I mean, you see how the characters are thin. It looks good. But in a game like Pikmin, yeah, I'd understand. I mean, like, you play the Pikmin attraction in Nintendo Land, it does look sort of weird. So, on to next topic. Super Mario 3D World. Any, Cat Mario. Let's talk about Cat Mario in Super Mario 3D World.
Mario's a cat.
Mario's a cool cat.
He can climb up poles.
Which makes it easier getting a 1-up. Anyways, so in Super Mario 3D World, for those that don't know, probably should start with this in the beginning, is a it's a 3D Mario game Nintendo hinted on before E3. A lot of people said it was going to be Super Mario Galaxy 3. I actually think they made a good move on making 3D World, being as Nintendo needs more Mario games that is focused on co-op simultaneous 4-player multiplayer.
I personally haven't been keeping up with the 3D Mario games. Not really sure why. I've sort of been a bit behind for a while, so I'm not really used to this new Mario 3D World aspect of gaming. I'm more used to the Galaxy Sunshine thing, but only the first Galaxy. So I'm just a bit.
That's probably because you're a Pikmin addict.
Yeah.
We need to get you off that planet, okay?
Impossible.
Nah, just 6 months, maybe I'll be off. Just give me 6 months of joy first.
Alright, you have 6 months, and we're lifting you off the planet whether you want to or not.
Can I keep my Pikmin as I go off?
You could take 1 Pikmin from every color as a pet.
Pikmin aren't pets, they're people.
I'm trying to be like a cruel dictator. You're ruining the mood.
You mean like Olimar's boss?
Yes.
I don't know why. I like Olimar's boss. I think it's just the voice.
Yeah, his voice is interesting.
Wait, we're talking to Pikmin again. We're supposed to be on Mario 3D World.
That's right. Off topic. We're big, imbeciles here. Anyways, Mario Kart 8. Next Mario Kart game in the Mario Kart franchise. I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this one. A lot of new elements, just like they did with Mario Kart 7. Mario Kart 8 is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the title though.
Yeah, but they said that they got the title 8. I forget what it's called, but something where, yes, they got it from that because they looked at that one course and it's looked like an 8. So they were like, "Oh, that's the perfect title."
Yeah, I guess this is the most suitable time for a number, but I hope the next one's not just Mario Kart 9. I hope they think something more creative than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Mario Kart Revolution.
That would be awesome. Add some sort of story mode to that, and you're good to go.
Include some Pikmin. Make it even better.
Always come back to the Pikmin.
It's a running gag here, I see.
Yeah. Going back to Mario Kart again, because you people seem to be the Pikmin addicts at the moment. What was your favourite Mario Kart game?
I'd have to say Mario Kart Double Dash for the pure fact of having more than one person in a cart at the same time. Gave a little more variety and allowed for some funny combinations such as Mario and Bowser having to race in one cart.
Yeah.
You, Dave?
I agree, because Double Dash is my first Mario game and my first kart racing game, so it holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I think everyone's favourite was Double Dash, just because of the whole gimmick of having two people.
Yeah, if anything, I think they should have made that a mode in like the other Mario Kart games. At least made it somewhat optionable. You know, where you can choose where it's like double cart, or I don't know what it would be called, but you could have two people in the same cart, you know? Would be an interesting feature. I mean, I definitely think Mario Kart could do without the battle mode. No one really uses that anymore.
Yeah.
So replacing battle with a race style similar to Double Dash would definitely be a good call.
Do you think that would be suitable for Mario Kart 9, or do you think it should be more of a spin-off game?
I'm not really sure about that. You, Dave?
I do not think spin-offs of a spin-off would be a smart idea.
Spin-off of the spin-off. No, come on. Don't you want to see a spin-off of the spin-off of the spin-off of the spin-off?
That's Pokemon Ranger. I'm not getting involved there.
Sort of like someone doing a spin-off of the Family Guy Star Wars spin-offs.
Don't get started on those spin-offs. It's not a fun round to go down.
Alright.
But the most exciting game, besides Pikmin 3, shown at E3 is Super Smash Bros.
Yes, we finally get gameplay of that. Mega Man and the Animal Crossing Villager. Awesome characters. And also the Wii Fit trainer.
Honestly,
She's
I
a
think...
genius. Sorry.
Sorry, you go first.
No, you go first. You're more important.
Oh, okay.
I'll be the tiebreaker. Daz, you go.
Okay. I personally find the Wii Fit trainer to be the most interesting, just because it's more of a funny aspect than as serious as, oh, this is this character, this is what they do. She's just more, like, open. It's like, oh, instead of crouching, I'll do push-ups. I don't know, I just find that better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but the second one is the Animal Crossing character. I mean, you can't jump in the Animal Crossing game, so it's gonna be really funny to see the Animal Crossing character jump. I wonder what that'll be like. Maybe it'll be like that, like changing the outfit type of thing, where you always jump with like a backflip, like you're changing your clothes in the game.
It'd be funny, every time you jump, you just go into some sort of different clothing.
That'd be interesting.
Or it's like one of those cartoon, like, combo attacks, where, like, every time they're in the air, they're, like, doing something different, like reading a newspaper, but it's like the villager just changing clothes every time they jump at someone.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. Someone there's actually a meme going around of the Animal Crossing character having Mario in his net. He's like, I'm going to have you stuffed and stored in the museum right next to your brother.
God. Do you mean Luigi's Mansion?
I don't know. Maybe the Animal Crossing villager was really behind that, and King Boo was just a person under him.
Well, the Animal Crossing villager has an axe, a shovel, a slingshot, a bug net, and a fishing rod. He can do some pretty serious damage.
I know. Even with just the axe, he's dangerous. And Mega Man, oh my goodness, the CGI they did in that Mega Man trailer for Super Smash Bros. is just awesome.
Especially the hair and the fur.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. What other characters would you like to see in the Super Smash Bros. New Super Smash Bros?
Apparently, Dave wants Alf, and some person called Alpka.
I didn't see anything. You didn't hear anything. I didn't do anything.
All right.
I'm just
Okay.
suggesting.
Yeah.
Apple?
I shouldn't type while laughing. I'm sorry.
Og. You want someone called Og? Who's Og?
But yeah, the new games would
That's
have to be nice to have
sound file.
representations. I mean, maybe a new Pokemon trainer, maybe somebody from like the new Mario and Luigi game.
So I wouldn't mind if they added like variations on the Pokemon trainer, made it where it's like red for like Kanto, Dawn for Sinnoh, May for Hoenn type things, so you could have like variations on the region of Pokemon you send out.
That could work. Or they could also have console-exclusive clothing changes, such as the Battle Revolution trainers or the Coliseum trainers.
That's true, but I don't think they'll really add character customization to it, so I wouldn't be too surprised if they bring back the Pokemon trainer and make it where you, where it's like one of the trainers from the games,
What about the actual Pokemon you play as separately? Like you've got the Pikachu and Jigglypuff. What do you think the new Mew? That's a weird phrase. Is going to be the new Pokemon?
I don't think maybe, but at the same time, I wouldn't be too surprised if they don't. I mean, I would just be happy enough with Mewtwo returning. When Brawl was new, I liked Lucario, but now that I'm looking back on it, Mewtwo was definitely a better fighter in Melee than Lucario was in Brawl, so
Blaziken would be nice.
that's true. I wouldn't mind Blaziken. But have that be where if you're playing as, like, May or Brandon in the game, you can send out Blaziken.
Pokemon matching the trainer. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. That's what I was saying before with, like, Red being for Kanto and, Dawn being for Sinnoh.
We know Dazz's favorite Pikmin, but do we know his favorite Pokemon?
I'm gonna guess Sunflora.
Nah. I'm more of a water type. For some reason.
Blastoise.
Yes.
Whoa.
Wow, that was quick actually. 2 guesses.
That was awesome.
Yeah, well, we're just good like that, okay? Dave and I are secretly telepaths. I'm kidding.
You let them know. You let the whole world know we can read each other's minds. Thank you, Andrew. Now everyone knows.
You're welcome.
I feel violated.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, we'll turn off our, telepathic mind control. Oh, excuse me, telepathicness. Anyways, on to the next game. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. They really revealed a lot for these 2 games. Such as the possibility of being able to ride Rhyhorn or Rhydon, in certain areas. And sky battles. That's really nice. You'll sometimes find a trainer in a route. They'll challenge you to fight. And if it's like a sky battle, you must have a Pokemon that can fight.
Also, they went back to the Earthbound roots and included hordes of enemies, such as 5 Pokemon or less, appearing at once to challenge you on a 1 versus 5 battle.
Yeah, that's one of the other things I like. It's really nice how they added that. It goes back to how sometimes you have 2 Pokemon appear at you at the same time in black and white. but it adds more of a challenge to it, and that's wild Pokemon only, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. What's next?
Thinking, I believe there's still more for X and Y. Yeah, they revealed 2 new Pokemon. One is like Vivillon or something.
A butterfly-looking thing?
Yeah, and then the other one is something else. I forget its name.
Well, there's the giant flying flaming bird thing.
That's true.
Flame.
Yeah.
And then there's those strange lobster crab-like things. There's 2 of them. One's blue, one's orange.
Yeah, and then there's the one Sound Dragon Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Fairy type is an actual type in X and Y. They added it in to balance the Dragon type since they noticed that as they were making more and more Pokemon games, they were adding like more Dragon types. And since they didn't, and they said the reason why they didn't add Fairy type in earlier was because in Red and Blue there were only 3 Dragon types. Gold, Silver, and Crystal, another 3, I believe. And then it's like went on like that for the other ones until like Black and White or so. And then they were like, okay, looking through the list of Dragon types. Yeah, that's a lot of Dragon types. Most strongest type in the game. Let's add a type that it's weak against besides its own type, so it becomes weaker.
Plus, certain Pokemon have been retconned to have Fairy type as part of their typing rather than normal or Psychic.
Yeah, the one thing I'm wondering about is how Maryland feels about Meryl being retyped to Fairy.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
His favorite Pokemon in the Pokemon his channel is based around is Meryl.
I'm sorry. My condolences to him.
Yeah, he'll have to like change his site around. And his channel.
Fairyland, Fairy World.
Oh well, perfect.
That's
for
very disappointing.
Oh!
Oh, that's funny.
Well, we have a Fairy Pikmin, why not a Fairy Pokemon?
That's true. This year seems to be pretty fairy about fairies.
That was horrible.
That was fairly hilarious. I'm sorry. Fairly hilarious?
Yeah, I'm a terrible joke teller. I admit it.
Year of Luigi.
I'm a bat!
Was that Wario?
Waluigi still hasn't got on a platformer game yet. He only shows up for sport. And
I think that's what they should add in Super Smash Bros. Waluigi.
Yes.
Everyone's cheating but him.
I know. It's like everyone thought Wario was bad. Now that everyone thinks Waluigi is bad.
Because he is?
Why everybody hate Waluigi?
Because he's a butt.
Maybe it's the fact that you can literally grab his chin.
Yes, that could be it.
Yeah, and the reason why everyone likes Wario is because he has gravity-defying farts.
Oh, and a motorbike.
That's true, but the
And
farts...
he can eat a motorbike. He can eat it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true, but it's farts. Please.
That's due to the motorbike. I mean, that's what happens when you eat motorbikes. That's what happens.
You fart?
I'd assume so.
I thought it was the garlic.
That too.
Yeah, but eating your motorbike, wouldn't that kill you?
Not Wario.
He has an iron stomach. I'm sorry. But he has an iron stomach.
Contrary to what Brawl makes you believe. Yes. Oh, Wind Waker HD.
Oh yeah, awesome game. The Tingle Bottle feature is just going to be so epic. I'm looking forward to it because you basically type up a message, you put it in a bottle, you put it in the ocean, and then it washes up on another player's shore, and then they can read it.
Sounds like
Is that
Animal
gonna be-
Crossing. Oh, go
Is
ahead.
that going to be a random mechanic, like whoever it goes to just gets it, or do you get to actually choose who exactly.
I think it's going to be like a random mechanic, so you won't be able to like message your friends that way. I think it'll just be a random mechanic, so you'll get some random players note in a bottle. I was talking to my math teacher a few days ago about that, and he said that there's a game that has something similar to that, where someone types something up on the ground but it has like a bad voting system. But yeah, the Wind Waker HD is going to be awesome. It looks good, and the way that we made it look better is just awesome.
Did Daz ever play any Zelda games?
Yes, I played Twilight Princess, and that's it.
To this day, I have not beaten any Zelda game besides Wind Waker.
How can we translate this into Twilight Princess language? The shaders that you use in the GameCube and Wii versions have been upgraded to a Fong cell shading for the Wii U that looks brilliant.
Yeah. I can't wait to just go sailing on the ocean endlessly with that.
Yeah.
It'll just look awesome. It's just like the ocean, it's just like magnificent.
I'm definitely gonna get that game when it comes out, because I never got the chance to play Wind Waker, so I'll definitely do it this time round.
Good idea.
You guys will love it, I promise.
Yeah, I did a Wind Waker Let's Play on my channel. I'm not sure how long ago. I believe it wasn't probably more than a year ago. But yeah.
Our enthusiasm died out. What happened?
It's what happens when you record. Enthusiasm dies out. You wouldn't understand it too much, Dave, because you don't do too much commentary.
I do it to myself, silently, when no one's listening.
It's different when you're, quote, on camera, unquote. Right, Daz?
Yep, that's exactly how it is.
How shall we hype this up again?
Dance party? I'm kidding.
I don't think so.
Alright,
Let's move on to the next game, which is...
Mario and Luigi Dream Team.
Yes. You take it away, Dave.
Okay. For the first time in the Mario and Luigi series, they are delving into full 3D models. And an innovative way to make Luigi the true star of the game.
Yeah, you basically start off on, I believe it's like Pillow Island, but it's not spelled Pillow, but it's Pillow Island, and what happens is Princess Peach is kidnapped and taken into Luigi's dreams through some sort of vortex, which I'd love to think the whole game is just Luigi's hallucination or something. Like, he's still at home sleeping, the whole thing's just a dream. And think about it, in Minecraft, you sleep while you're asleep.
Sleepception?
Yeah.
What does Daz think?
I just have the quote of, like, Luigi just going to Mario being like, "Hey, brother, one day I'm gonna be the hero of a Mushroom Kingdom." And Mario's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, in your dreams."
That's actually perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, I see that as, like, the ending to the game. Or, like, no, the beginning.
In your dreams. Okay.
Okay, lays in bed. Luigi, end of the game, Luigi wakes up in a hospital. He woke up! He's out of the coma! There's Mario in his doctor's outfit.
And then plot twist, it's been Mario who's been pulling his moustache the whole time.
Gasp.
Yeah. You know, I wonder what Luigi would look like without a mustache.
Like Luigi with a mustache. I don't know. We're used to seeing both the Mario Brothers with their mustaches. Without them, they look kind of silly.
Yeah.
I thought they looked silly without their hats, let alone their moustache.
I know.
It'd be freaky to see them without any facial hair. Or
Yeah.
hair at all. It'd be weird.
Oh, yeah.
They just look like eggs in my head. Massive eyes.
That's pretty funny.
I'm sorry, but the captain in Pikmin just looks like a balloon with googly eyes. Or rather, the captain looks like some playoff of a Mr. Potato Head toy.
Oh no, I cannot unsee that now.
Which would actually be something interesting for Nintendo to do.
What, making a potato head?
Yeah, Pikmin Captain Mr. Potato Head figurines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Pikmin 3 trailer. I forgot something. There's a new Longlegs family member.
Really?
It has hair. It looks like hairy Longlegs, and it has the same attack pattern where it lands and pushes its feet inward in a battle stance. So I'd assume it's related.
Hairy Longlegs. I see that as being the name because it could be a pun on Daddy Longlegs.
A scary, hairy Longlegs. Sorry.
Scary Daddy Longlegs. I
I'll
know.
stop. Okay, shying away from the Pikmin again. Yoshi's New Island.
It looks awesome. It looks just like the previous Yoshi's Island, was it as well? Or was it Yoshi's Story? The one for the Game Boy Advance.
Yoshi's Island Super Mario World 2.
Yeah. And it looks just like that, and I just want to see how well it looks in 3D, because I think a game like that does much better 2D only. Besides for that one part where you're fighting Bowser, baby Bowser, and you're chucking eggs at him at a distance. That would look good in 3D. Everything else should be 2D only.
Daz is our special guest. He has the authority to interject anytime he pleases.
Yeah.
Well, I have another Pikmin thing to say, again, obviously.
Oh, go ahead, say it.
What comments do you have about the sand-belching mere slug?
It has a name?
Yes, the massive eel that shouts in the sand.
Based on its location, I can say 1, Oasis. 2, it's not on the world map that we've seen so far. And 3, that thing is scary. It makes the same sound as an Emperor Boblax, but it looks like vicious version of a water dumple. It's frightening.
Yeah, I hate water dumples.
Well,
Perhaps it's their queen?
could be.
I mean, we have an Empress Boblax.
I don't want to see that thing reproduce.
Reminds me of your 10 things to do while waiting for Pikmin 3 video. I beat both games again, but I'm still like, what do I do? Beat them again? This taking way too long.
It's just like the wait for Animal Crossing New Leaf. It's just like, okay. So I played Animal Crossing Wild World for a year. I played the GameCube one for 2 years, and or the GameCube one for 1 year. Now what? City Folk for a year?
Watch a Let's Play. That'll do.
Or make one. That's even better.
Yeah, that's sort of why I started my Life in Z Village Let's Play on my channel, Crossing for the GameCube one, so I could pass the time while waiting for the Animal Crossing New Leaf. But I sort of ran out of things to do. It was getting redundant. I was just picking fruit and selling it.
I do have a question to propose, though.
What?
In
The
Pikmin 3,
the answer is 42.
it actually probably is. The longitude and latitude of the planet probably does equate to 42. But my question is, in Pikmin 2, we see the graphical projection of the planet to be Earth as today. But in Pikmin 3, it appears very different. Is this a retconning, or is something else going on? Olimar's still alive, not much time passed, but the Earth looks different, so time passed. I don't get it.
I think the Earth has some sort of problem where, like, time's going faster for the Earth.
That could be. Which reminds me of a Star Trek Voyager episode. There was an episode where Voyager gets stuck in a get stuck within the poles of a planet, becomes like the third pole. But the planet goes faster than the space around it. Like the time on the planet is faster than anything else in the universe. So a second in this space, in this normal time, it would be like would be like 1,000 years on that planet.
Time is relative.
Yeah.
And also, when you go underground, time slows down, so perhaps the farther you get away from the core of the planet, the faster time actually moves, making the surface expand and change very rapidly while the core does not.
Yeah, it could be. It could be something like that.
Oh!
What started it?
Oh, go ahead. Nuclear war?
There you go. That's what I think, at least.
I can explain that one using science. I believe the core of the Earth is a ball of metal. We don't know for sure because we're not down there, but based on current science records. And metal has a tendency to decay and or absorb radiation. If there was a nuclear war and the nuclear effects breached to the center of the Earth, went far down, expelling particles, the Earth could become a lot denser, which means it would move faster.
Yeah, and therefore time would go at a faster rate.
Oh, caves return in Pikmin 3. We saw a cave underground area without the timer, and the player was doing actions. It was not a cutscene.
But there were yellow pellets, and there was a yellow onion we saw in another clip.
Yes, I believe I can explain that one as well. In the battle mode, there are 2 red and blue onions. Well, pink, but it's supposed to be red because it's red team. I honestly believe Olimar might have engineered these onions, or they might be natural onions that just pop up from candy buds because there's an abundance of them. I mean, there's so many onions. We've seen 4 so far, but there's only 1 in story modes, so we know so far. Like, there could be more hidden underground or something.
Special onions that you use underground, maybe?
Also, the research pod still retains its old design from E3, and looks nothing like the ship. Challenge mode has to do with collecting Pokos, or whatever currency it appears to be, rather than fruit. What does this have to do with story mode, and why is it important? It's money, not fruit. But, yeah.
To buy upgrades for the captains, maybe?
The research pod in challenge mode seems to have Hokotation symbols on it, not Kopayan. So I'm curious as to that has something to do with Olimar or not. Because Olimar has, Hokotation relations, because he is one. I don't know. So many questions.
Yeah, I know.
And even when we get the game, it probably still won't be answered.
I know. We're expecting you, Daz, to answer most of them, since you're getting it before us.
I'll try my best.
Alright.
Spicy Spray returns with orange flowers. That explains the orange flowers / red flowers in the logo of the title.
Yes.
Oh, and the cloaking burrownits are not called burrownits. They're called some sort of other species, like...
Jalmites.
There we go. However, I do think they will fall under the same genre.
Yeah. Does that mean that the flying ones are called Joustites? Like stalagmites and stalactites, maybe? Something like that.
That'd be beautiful. Oh my goodness.
That's just my little prediction. I'm just going to put that on the shelf.
Beautiful. Dude, that's like... Oh my gosh, that's perfect, because the Joustites and Jalmites, that's amazing. Bomb rocks are back. A lot of them.
And blue Pikmin can wield them.
What? No way.
What?
Yep, there's clips of a blue Pikmin holding a bomb rock into a crab, and then the crab picks up the bomb rock and explodes itself.
Can all Pikmin now hold bomb rocks, like the first game's beta mode hinted at?
I don't know. They didn't show anyone else, but I think it might just be the blues because they seem a bit underpowered at the moment with wing Pikmin being able to fly over the water, so... Could just be like
an advantage that they wouldn't normally have. Because, there's water, but there's not much else.
Yeah, it's true.
Red Pikmin have fire and prone to more attack power. Yellow Pikmin, electricity and electrical barriers, fly higher. Purple and whites, as we know, flying in rock, but blues get eaten quicker. That's such a good advantage.
So bomb rocks are lethal. They're like, in the same footage, well, not the same footage, but the same video, we saw like one bomb rock take out 70 Pikmin, I think it was?
Yes.
Oh.
Nightmare is coming back to you, right?
Yep.
Pikmin 2, Subterranean Complex, Level 5. Bombs, bombs, and bombs. Sorry.
Thanks for the title. Thanks for the idea for an episode title. I'm thinking about doing a Pikmin Let's Play sometime in the future.
Bombs, bombs, and bombs?
Perhaps. Yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder. Just think of that.
Explosive PTSD.
Oh, Pikmin, I went through, oh my goodness, I forgot to tell any of you this. I went through Pikmin 2's files the other day just to look at the examples of certain things, and the test map shows water levels. The water levels we see in Pikmin 3 where the submerged orange and submerged captains were actually planned for the first and second game.
Ooh.
You really are quite thorough.
Oh, and something else more thorough than you'd think. The Piklopedia in Pikmin 2, I want you both to check this out if you have the time to. Go there, go to the perplexing pool, and look around the map with the water wraith item. Or viewing with, whatever I mean. Or a MOA item. If you look around, the map is different. In the coding, these maps are listed first rather than the final maps. They're beta maps, but they're fully finished. They're also a lot larger. In beta Pikmin 2 screenshots, I've compared these maps with the newer maps. Up until the very almost end of release, these were the maps they chose. The perplexing pool had a round circular area instead of the cement, and the Forest of Hope Awakening Wood lacked a certain area in it, such as the stump for the Snagret hole or part of the water area. And the third area, which is the most surprising, Valley Repos. It's called Tutorial, and there's one small thing. There's no area with Louis, there's no subterranean complex, there's just this one small landing site and this long strip of gravel. It's like they didn't plan much for that level. It was very, very, very late in development they decided to add more. Sorry.
That Valley Repose map sounded more like it would be like a hub world, like you could go into separate areas from there. It had a long corridor of gravel.
You can still view it if you'd like, if you just open your Piklopedia and take a look. It's, for some reason, loaded it instead of the actual finalized map file.
So what, do you have to be looking at a certain enemy to see this?
No, but the water wraith moves around a lot, so it's easier to see.
Ah, okay.
That's why. That's all. But they also scaled them down. The size is a lot less. They could have fit a lot more in these bigger areas, but they shrunk them down. In your map comparison, you explained this too. They're just smaller.
Yeah.
But whatever, that's for another day. Oh, and purple Pikmin in the coding are called Black Peak, so they changed the color also late in development.
Yeah, I expected that just to avoid some sort of racial attack or something, you know?
I'm calling Jinx on them.
Oh, the last thing I wanted to note. Sorry for bumping my earphone there, I'm excited. There's a unused map background for the Underground Caverns that's in Pikmin 2's files, and it's a, I'm not saying this right, tatami room? Whatever the traditional Japanese matting is.
Tatami, yes.
Okay, and based on my inner feeling, there's a level in challenge mode called Creator's Garden. What if you were originally going to play in Miyamoto's house as a challenge mode level? Just a theory.
That does seem interesting, and it does seem like something that Nintendo probably would have done just for the testers. Just to test the multiplayer function.
I mean, you guys remember the giant skybox of a pub in Super Smash Bros. Meelee's beta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that in Pikmin, perhaps.
I wouldn't be
Perhaps.
surprised if Pikmin 3 has much bigger and more like Easter eggs like that, just because that's what Nintendo seems to like doing lately.
Yeah. I wouldn't be too surprised if they did that. And I would... I forget, are they implementing a Miiverse in it in any way or no?
For what game?
Pikmin 3.
The screenshots, I believe, are going to be Miiversed.
Okay.
With your cope pad.
Alright. Just forgot.
Could we stop the video for 1 second? I need to save the recording so we have a backup in case it runs over the time limit.
Sure.
Okay, make some obvious noises, loud noises, so I know when to stop. in the cutting. Okay, that's
Bum,
enough.
bum, 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 bum.
File save project as. Okay, let's see here. We have a solid 45 minutes. Thank you both. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Daz, thank you so much, because it's like an honor to actually talk to you too. Like, oh my goodness.
It's an honor to be on another person's channel. It's kind of strange.
Ah, sorry. All right, I'll save it as Andy one, because then I know what it is. Okay,
Uh-huh.
saving project data files. 45 minutes, crazy. Okay, file new. Recording. 3, 2, 1. Resume.
Alright, so, where were we? Daz!
Yeah,
Daz,
Daz.
hold on, Taz. You hit that, Olimar you took hostage, right?
I did the what? Pardon?
Didn't you take Olimar hostage while Dave was doing that?
No.
I was oh, come on, you really let me down.
It was a secret.
Oh, well, so I'm just blurting out all the secrets. First I say we're telepaths, next thing I say we brainwash people, and then now I say that Daz kidnapped him.
Something happened. What?
Daz, you okay?
Yeah, I didn't snap anyone's neck.
Oh. I'm not gonna respond to that. But
Rest in peace, Olimar.
rest in pieces.
Oh.
Well, he's still in one piece, just a little twisted.
Alright, go on, Dave.
Okay, in the Pikmin 2 files for models, I was able to extract about a few couple hundred animations. One, the ship animation is compressed into like 5 actions in one. Sucking up treasure, talking, moving, and idle, and it's all pushed together. Nintendo is efficient in their animations. I've just learned this just now. It's fascinating. They actually like save time, money, and data space by confushing it all into one single animation. That's really interesting. Second, their software can decipher that. That's pretty cool. And third, the file for the water wraith is called Demon. Demon.
No wonder. No wonder it would be called Demon. I mean, it's invincible and whatnot. So, and you don't really chuck things at it, because if I remember Japanese tradition, I don't know everything about Japan, but one of the things I remember is that there's a holiday in Japan where you chuck soybeans at demons to make them go away. And since you can't do that in Pikmin, I wouldn't be too surprised if that's why the water wraith is invincible. Just imagining an item like that in Pikmin 3 would be funny.
A giant soybean opponent. That'd be amazing. Sorry.
Water wraith appeared. Giant soybean. Water wraith is killed.
Oh, and the other strangest possible thing I covered on the disc is that the image first found of a model in the entire disk, like in the root directory, is a bumbling snitch bug. It's found 3 times in the disk, and they apparently like it a lot to use as a test model. So Nintendo likes bumbling snitch bugs.
Probably because it sounds like something from Harry Potter.
That's a good point. It does have a really awesome name.
Yeah, and before, wait, are they done with Harry Potter, or is that
Yeah, they're done.
Okay.
Sadly.
Never really liked the, Harry Potter movies, don't know why.
They were magical if you read the books, but if you didn't read the books, they were kind of hard to follow. That's okay, though.
Yeah, I'm not big on reading.
Twilight wouldn't be proud, but okay. Should we go back to... We want one of 3 options. One of 3 options. 1, talk about the lesser games found at E3. 2, expand upon just talking about random subjects. Or 3, delve into the Pikmin analysis that we wanted to talk about for like a month here.
Delve into the Pikmin analysis.
Okay, I haven't shared this theory with anyone, but I've observed it, well, except for Andrew here, but I've observed it very carefully. After doing my, like, a billionth run-through of Pikmin 2 a few days ago, I discovered something really weird. The Titan's Weevil casts a shadow that resembles an onion. Let that sink in for a moment. The Dweevils have colors, much like the Pikmin. They have attributes. They carry treasure. They have a mother lord, or a ship, of sorts to speak of, the giant Dweevil. They, like the Pikmin, are also found above ground or underground. Bless you, Andrew.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome. The Pikmin and Dweevils are natural opponents. Louis sides with the Dweevils. Olimar sides with the Pikmin. The Pikmin's first mothership found is red. The Dweevil, in its natural color state when first encountered, is a bluish-green. Louis is bluish-green, bluish-green, blue, and Olimar is red, pinkish.
I sense a civil war.
Also, Olimar, when exposed to a planet without his ship to provide him oxygen, or methane rather, exposed in oxygen, he started to suffer, die. Louis was left on the planet for some considerable amount of time. Perhaps he went senile because of his lack of proper air. The Dweevils create methane, which chokes Pikmin. Is it possible he was able to survive for such a long time because he was feeding off the Dweevils' excretion of air? Like, what if that's how he survived? I don't know. Maybe he hijacked their giant insect's brain to stay alive. But the power, or the corruption of his own mind, went to his head. Just a theory. Thought it's a nice parallel, because in all Pikmin games, they cast dynamic shadows, the objects and enemies. The Dweevil's objects do not cast dynamic shadows, which begs the theory, why not? Perhaps Nintendo has something bigger up their sleeve. We don't know. In the multiplayer challenge mode, we work together, but in the two-player battle, you are fighting Louis. Questions arise. Why? In Pikmin 3, you're fighting out to train him, but in Pikmin 2, you're fighting Louis because why? Louis is not interested in Pikmin. He is afraid of them, as shown by his first cutscene. He doesn't deal with them when he's left on the planet alone, and obviously, based on his description by the ship in the Piklopedia, he is not very fond of being modest. That's enough for today, though, about that theory. I'll stop.
Wow.
Yeah, I think too much, Daz. I've been an admirer of you for a long time, and I just had these ideas, and I didn't want to say them till now, so... Yippee. I play this game way too much.
I wonder who's the bigger addict, Daz or Dave?
Probably me innerly, but Daz outerly. Like, I think about Pikmin because that's how I bide my time. I like obsess because that's how I beat my time away. But Daz, I'm pretty sure has played more games, has more people he's talked to about it, and probably has a bit more passion than I do, so I'd probably say him.
It all depends on your perspective, really. So let's just say we're equal.
Go with that. Well, I'm not really equal to you, but yes, thank you. You're like way above me, but thank you. You're awesome. Don't forget that.
Dave, stop. Dave, if you put Daz on a pedestal so high, you'll need a winged Pikmin to get him.
No, seriously though, like honestly, his theories are pretty awesome.
I know.
The weather thing was genius because that happened. It happened. Whoa.
Yeah.
And the onions. Olimar has them in two-player battle mode. Does that mean he engineered them? He's pretty smart. He made the dolphin himself, and he has some experience with the Pikmin. I don't think it's far off to think he might have made them.
That could be.
But that's enough for those weird theories. We have to wait till the game actually comes out to start making these assumptions.
And then they won't actually tell us, they'll just show it to us. Like, oh, look, here's an onion.
Yeah, unexplained mysteries. Nintendo.
Yeah, no, they'll say, oh, hey, here's an onion. They held out an actual onion, not from Pikmin, the food.
It'd be bad. Oh, compliance and quotations confirmed for the same language. Olimar and Alf communicate. Done. That's it. That's what we need to know. I mean...
I could imagine it could be the same language, but it could be something like European and American English.
I can't understand your accent. Sorry. Daz has thoughts. He can speak them. I feel them. His thoughts are like welling up. Like, I feel like a purple Pikmin idea. So...
No. I was waiting for that reference to show up.
My body is ready.
Yeah. I'm sure it is.
Oh, go ahead.
I've sort of just gone dry. I can't think of anything now. You've
Oh,
just blown my mind with the whole Titan Dweevil thing.
I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
it's a good thing.
Oh, yay. Oh, that was a car horn outside. That scared me.
Ugh.
Um, well, we can go off track for a second to all of us regather our thoughts and talk about E3 again for a moment.
All right.
E3. Nintendo made a smart move. They didn't have a full-up, costly, expensive, possibly fan-enthralling conference, but they had side views, where they had people play their games on the show floor, which was a more amazing experience because it didn't cost that much money. People got to play the games instead of just watch people play the games. They got to play the games. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And do
Yep.
you think it was a smart move?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
If anything, though, I would love to see Nintendo at least put demos on those type of demos onto the eShop. That would be more interesting. Instead of like next year, don't team up with Best Buy. Well, you can, but also put the demos on the eShop.
I wouldn't mind if they had a price either. I'd do it because
Yeah.
that's free. It's free. It's free to me because it's a gaming experience. I don't care if it costs 99 cents. It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the whole Best Buy situation, I don't get a part in that because, like, I don't have any Best Buys anywhere near me, so I don't get the opportunity to go to any demos anyway.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Alright.
so I think it's like Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Europe next year at E3. If they should put the demos on their on the eShop for just about say every country, so they could still get the demos for said games. Because doing that would be another way to get more people interested in the games, not just making it so only those who live in America or those who go to E3 can play it, because then they're excluding Daz and other people who live in Europe.
Exactly.
They will fix this, I promise. It is not fair otherwise.
Yeah.
At least you guys get Pikmin 3 first. That's a plus for you. Good job.
Yeah, only Pikmin 3. Every other game you guys always get, like, a month after Japan, but us, it's just Pikmin 3.
What
It makes you
about
feel any
What
better.
about Pokemon X and Y? That's being released worldwide same time.
Thank God.
Yeah.
And since Daz, Europe is ahead of the United States in time, you'll get Pokemon X and Y before us as well.
Huzzah!
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yay. So I don't have a 3DS, I can't compare, but yay!
We could actually help you get one. We could start a fundraiser for getting Daz stuff.
Nah.
Nah,
Yes.
it would seem a little greedy.
Not
Yeah,
greedy at all.
and I
People use it for
wouldn't,
testing purposes.
I wouldn't have felt like I'd earned it. It just felt like I just got it. Like, oh,
Oh.
not special.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, something else popped up in my brain. The Titans Weevil uses weapons. Those weapons resemble Pikmin elements. The captains upgrade throughout the game. Nothing tells us that Louis did not drag those treasures himself to the Titans Weevil. How do we know it brought them? It just picked up Louis. How do we know Louis didn't bring those treasures? The water pump, Captain's resistance to water. The spacesuit. The flare captain cannon. A reference to, the Scorch Guard. The rubber eraser thing, reference to the shock therapist. Like, they all have parallels that apply through the captains versus what the Titans Weevil has.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'll stop blowing your minds with these theories.
Maybe it was like a Dweevil and the Pikmin that came together to make the onion in the first place. So they're in a way there's like the Dweevils are like their fathers somehow.
That'd be freaky. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
like how the man at leg has had a robotic and organic thing come together.
However, based on the Picklepedia entry, that was not the creature's decision. It was the machine's decision.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like forcibly controlling an object, which is kind of what Louis did. But
Just like the Borg from Star Trek.
assimilating
Resistance.
in one's mind.
Yes.
Resistance is futile. You have no right to resist. You must remain silent because you will remain silent because we're in control.
Yes.
The man at legs. Somebody made a funny post. I'm just bringing this up because it's really funny. What if in Pikmin 3, I'm quoting here, the man at legs has a boss theme, and when it shoots its cannon, the bass drops. Like as if it was dubstep, and then all of a sudden it starts taking out its cannon, and the bass just drops, and those Pikmin are annihilated to really loud dubstep music.
Hmm.
Dubstep guns, that's becoming a thing now.
I know.
Just a funny thought.
It's like anybody could make anything a thing as long as it has good enough support.
Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness, I forgot almost entirely.
What, Falcon Punch?
No, well, actually kind of close. It's actually very close. Let me explain what I'm going to say. In the beta versions of Pikmin 2's, maps, there are the landing sites visible in Perplexing Pool. And that implies that it is the same area, which causes some confusion. But the older version of the Valley of Repos does in fact resemble the Forest Navel a bit more. So I don't know. Maybe they always plan that, because I can send you the files later to show you yourself, or you can see it in the Piclopedia. It is more of a shape of the Forest Navel. The place where you land does resemble Beatty Longlegs Arena or the Puffstools Arena. I'm not sure which, but it looks more like the shape.
Yeah, and Daz, if Dave sends you the files, you could always start a new series looking back at like beta versions of the Pikmin games and stuff within the beta.
Yeah, I would love to do that actually.
Let me add you, and I'll give you the files right after this Skype call.
Okay.
How do I add somebody?
With this beta series, if I ever do it, I'll probably do it after Pikmin 3, so I can go over Pikmin 3 beta as well as 2 and 1.
All right,
Okay.
that works.
Yeah, that works as well.
Also, the new Snagrets and Pikmin Snagrets, I call them Snagrets because I'm American and I'm used to saying the A rather than the A, but I don't know if there's Snagrets over there.
I don't think it makes a difference. I'm used to calling them Snagrets because everyone else does.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. If I'm playing City Folk with some European person, the person calls it City Folk. It doesn't make that much of a difference. It's just a name.
The beta burrowing thing in Pikmin 1 was white colored, and the Piclopedia entry resembles a blue, and in Olomar's notes it talks about like some sort of burrowing snarrow something, and this creature I believe we will probably see in Pikmin 3 because albino creatures are found underground. There's not enough sunlight. I'm thinking maybe a hyped-up version of a Snagret will be found underground, albino-looking, white, so it doesn't have the bluish hue. Just a theory, because it's hinted these things in the past. I mean, those shearwigs that we see are the male ones. The female ones just recently appeared in the Pikmin 3 trailer. Those green-looking things. They were brought up by the magma, seeping to the ground by those magma slugs. We know this because the regular shear rub design was seen in the Battle Bingo. Just saying that these hints have been coming forth and materializing all this time, and we didn't see it. Oh, and I also dumped every single texture in Pikmin 2 just for fun. And I found out that the ship in Pikmin 2, after spoilers, after the thing happens, yes, the thing, its textures are not actually mapped anywhere in the game. They're all based on RGB values, which means Nintendo at whim could change anything in the game's coloration, such as the pellets, the Pikmin, the captains, the lights, and the ship, just by changing RGB values. This is RBG values, the red, blue, green. This is interesting because games are usually not programmed with the RGB value modifier. Usually it's just texture mapping. Nintendo does not do this often. I think it's really odd they did this for Pikmin, which means they truly care about the game to have such a complex system of color coding things. That's like insane. Oh, and when the treasure enters a pod, it actually shrinks in size based on the game's programming. I put a hack in to make all the treasures giant, and they refused to shrink when going in the pod. So they came out like this giant orange that stayed giant, and so it just floated above the research pod. You know what I mean? So Nintendo truly cares about the Pikmin series because of the amount of detail they put in the programming and code.
I also heard that Miyamoto said that the development of Pikmin 3 was like his favourite developing stage, just because of how passionate he is about this series.
Yes. He couldn't stop smiling during the video. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do either of you have anything to have? I've talked for 30 minutes here. Anything you guys want to say instead of me talking?
Let me look through my Nintendo news for any recent news, just to be 100% certain on it. All right.
This is amazing. Oh my goodness, I can't believe the three of us are actually talking in the Skype call. Whoa.
I know. I'm not sure if we said this yet, but the Super Smash Bros. Titles, the final titles for the Super Smash Bros. Game for Wii U and 3DS is Super Smash Bros. And there will be no cross-platform play for Super Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U.
What? They promised that.
Director of Sora Limited, Masahiro Sakurai, has revealed that the new Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Nintendo 3DS will not feature cross-platform play. Sakurai says since each version of the long-awaited game has completely different stages, cross-platform play wouldn't work. However, each version will interact with each other as gamers will be able to take the characters they've customized on 3DS and transfer them to the Wii U version. Sakurai wouldn't elaborate on what the customizations are, but said that they won't be costumes or other tasks that the player would find repetitive. Sakurai wouldn't confirm if the level editor is coming back.
You guys take the stage.
Alright, Daz, I read it. You have anything to add?
I'm kind of just sort of wondering what the customization is going to be about then, because I'm not. It probably will be like a map editor, but I think they're going to go a bit further to it if they're just sort of mentioning it. If it's because the map editor in Brawl wasn't like amazing. If you know, I'm not.
I admit, I agree. It wasn't too amazing. I mean, it was fun when the game came out, but within like 3 weeks, everyone was like, okay, this is boring. So, yeah, I'm wondering about that as well. Third-party characters in Super Smash Bros. Won't be an ongoing trend. With the reveal of Mega Man as a playable character in the next Super Smash Bros., there's been a burning question on every fan's lips. Will there be additional third-party characters in the next Super Smash Bros. Title? In short, the answer is no. But it's always nice to have some hope. Game designer Masahiro Sakurai has told Kotaku that the introduction of third-party characters in the Smash titles will not be an ongoing trend. He said, but I think I can say generally that there won't be a trend of adding a lot of third-party characters. You can sort of think of Mega Man as being the special case. Anything you want to say on that?
Daz.
I don't know.
That's okay, neither do I. But I will add a science aspect. The 3DS does have enough memory to incorporate about a GameCube or 64 game, which means that they will have the roster about the same size as Melee. Melee.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds right. And future Zelda titles may feature DLC. Downloadable content has become a big part of the games industry and can often set a title apart from its competitors if its add-on content is just as good quality as the game itself. We've seen DLC in such Nintendo exclusives as Fire Emblem Awakening and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity. But could we now be looking at additional content for The Legend of Zelda, and more importantly, Zelda Wii U? In an exclusive interview with Nintendo Life, Zelda series producer Ihai Aranuma has said that it's certainly a possibility, but the content would have to be worth it for the user. Here's a quote. We are certainly looking at different ways to add on content that would enhance the experience for the user. Maybe more places to explore or just to enrich the experience beyond what is on the disc. But we also have to take into consideration that if we charge for this content, then it needs to be worth it for the user. So it's certainly a balancing act, but I can't say that it is something we are not considering. What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking, what could they actually add? Like, what would it be specifically?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. I wouldn't mind paying some money for like a new dungeon or something, or if they would add something from like the beta that that they could have taken out of the final cut of the game, but add in later on as DLC. I wouldn't mind that.
Do you think they could add extra parts to the actual story, like make like an add-on, like side quest that has its own little story thing? Because that would seem more worth it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind if the those add-on side quests came available after the game was completed to give people more stuff to do after the game, after you beat said game. Dave, your thoughts?
I concur.
All right. Not important.
I'm doing research. I found a thing.
Okay. Super Smash Brothers for the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U won't use touch controls. Akin to how motion controls isn't integrated in Wii Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the next Super Smash Bros. Games won't incorporate touch controls. Even though they're being developed for devices that feature touchscreen controllers, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS won't use touch controls. Here is a quote. You can think of situations where if you implemented touch controls on Wii U, then the gamepad player would have advantages over other players. Series producer Masahiro Sakurai told IGN's Rich George, "We want to balance evenly across Wii U and the 3DS versions, so there's a balancing issue there, which means you would have to avoid using touchscreen controls." Anything else?
That seems fair for players.
Yeah, it does. Zelda Wind Waker cut dungeons will not come to Wind Waker HD. Ihai Aonuma has confessed that the dungeons that were cut from the GameCube version of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker won't be coming to The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD because they have already been reused in previous Legend of Zelda titles. And Aonuma says he wants to stay true to the GameCube's game's roots, so he probably won't be adding any additional dungeons to The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker High Definition. He believes that adding them would affect other parts of the GameCube version, which they really want to stay true to.
Faithful guy.
Yeah, I know. Really faithful. A little depressing that we won't be seeing like additional dungeons in it, but then again, it's supposed to be like a high definition port or a remake, so it would make sense. You know, it would be like me remaking, say, Red and Blue and adding like traveling to the Johto region. Wouldn't really make a lot of sense, you know. If I gave information saying that it's going to be a direct remake, just in higher quality. Give me a moment.
Sure thing. Okay, I was just speaking in the Skype call, and I said that the icon of the cope pad in Pikmin 3 resembles Earth, but not just any part of Earth. It resembles Afro-Eurasia, basically Africa and Asia, and Eastern Europe, and part of Australia. Just saying, because it looks interesting.
But no America.
Of course not. It's Pikmin. It has to take place in those places. You don't see giant skyscrapers and littered trash everywhere. It's not all littered trash. It's Pikmin. So it would make sense to take place in those parts of the world rather than our part of the world, because our part of the world does not match the Pikmin universe.
Mm-hmm.
Daz is thinking.
Yes.
Good.
Good. We wanted to make sure you didn't leave us.
No, I'm pretty sure he did. Oh,
I know.
Okay, now he's thinking. I'll go over some beta stuff that was found at Pikmin. One, there's a beta file in the Pikmin 1 disk that's called piki.stx, which sounds like sticks, so it says Piki Sticks, but it's a sound testing file, and I matched it to the Onion Boot cutscene where the Onion boots up, and it sounds very remarkably similar. So my idea is that perhaps in the beginning of the game, the Onion's originally cutscene had a sound to go with it. Or it could just be that they left it on the disc by accident. But, they don't do that. They always have a reason.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, more news on the new Super Smash Bros. Sakurai confirms no more tripping.
Thankfully.
Yes.
I know. Finally. The tripping and brawl was a mistake, just like the grass dying in City Folk.
Yes.
Not sure which one's worse, but they're both bad.
Oh, the tripping was pretty bad because if you tripped with the wrong character, you would end up in a loop of problems where anybody could hit you in any moment, and you would be vulnerable for catching, grabbing, punching, kicking, or throwing.
Yeah.
And that wasn't fun.
Yeah, so it's a good thing that's gone in the new Super Smash Bros.
Pikmin 2, the ship's name in beta copies and/or old language files is called Dolphin 1. So this means that in every game, the ship has a name that starts with D. Dolphin, Dolphin 1, and Drake. They all have the same name that starts with D. And character D. He looks Hokotation. If you compare Hokotation, if you compare Olimar and Alf on the battle select screen where it shows both captains running in place, the features and ears, eyes, nose, mouth, hair resemble a Hokotation rather than a Copian. So, and the fact that he has that mop top hair that Louis has covering his face, you know, that's just part of it. Hokotation's under untidy hair. And character D. D is the last in the sequence, A, B, C, D. And quite often, alphabetically, things work. So perhaps we see him later on in the story. Maybe he's Olimar's assistant. Maybe he's Olimar's friend. Maybe he's somehow landed on this planet. We know that Alf is the mechanic. Charlie is the captain. Charlie's the captain, see what I did there. And then Brittany is the botanist. Oh! Alf could also mean, well, I'm sure there's a word that starts with A that has to do with engineering, so that would make sense. But character D, perhaps he could be the director of some sorts, for something. The names alliterate, you know what I mean. Brittany the botanist, Charlie the captain, Alf the something.
Dad, just admit it, you have the thing for Brittany.
Oh, she's pretty cute. I'm sure he agrees, considering his videos. Like, look, he's like, oh, Brittany! So, I guess, Brittany also sounds British, so that's pretty cool. What if she has an accent? That'd be really awesome.
But she's gluttonous.
So is the president. So is the president.
Oh yeah, I love the president.
And the purple Pikmin, by some sort. They absorb all those oils to become fat. You know,
Daz,
fat
what's with you and people that are gluttonous?
Whoa, somebody got a supercontinent. Oh my gosh, that's right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, you just pulled this page up. We have to link this in the comments. This is the same shape. That's right. Oh my goodness. Sorry.
Yep.
So, there is a time scale that happens. But how is Olimar still alive in 250 million years? I mean, he's getting up there, but 250 million years.
I think it's all because like the Earth is traveling faster in time, like in its own orbiting zone, and Olimar wasn't there when it went vast or run.
That would explain a lot. Like where Charlie finds the yellow Pikmin is in a frozen area. Frost often preserves things. That means that can have to be exposed to quite a lot of weathering to actually make it change in rust.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are all right. Good job finding things.
Alright. Yeah, one more thing for me to add off topic of Pikmin 3. I believe Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of Europe has launched a Luigi website.
Yes. He's back.
Yep, Move Over Mario. There's a new star in town. Of course, it's Luigi's time to shine and take center stage this year. There's no better way to do that than to have your own website. Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of UK have together revealed Luigi's own hub, a space where he can truly call home. He's not only got away from his brother for a few short moments, but the website even shows off some of the games he's been in or due to star in this year, like Luigi's Mansion 2 and New Super Luigi U. Within time, the hub should add more Luigi features. We're pretty sure that Luigi timeline will pop up again. You can view the website, in the description. Visit it in the description. It's a long URL.
Interesting. We're kind of out of things to talk about, but I'm sure we can squeeze another 5 seconds out of this video.
Yeah, I know.
All right, our running time is meeting at about an hour, 24 minutes. Do you want to split this into 3 parts?
Do I or do I not? Let's take a poll here. I'll be the tiebreaker if there's a tie. Let's start with Daz. Your thoughts? 3 or 1 part?
I'd say 1 part.
All right, Dave.
I concur.
All right, 1 part it is. I already have a video on my channel. It's 2 hours 8 minutes long. I believe it's 2 hours 8 minutes long. By the way, it's like more than 2 hours, so this will be short in comparison.
That works.
So shall we see if we can get this to a nice round hour and a half then? Since we've got like just under 5 minutes then?
Sure.
What shall our final topic be then?
Animal Crossing New Leaf has, I believe, released today in North America. Or
yes.
Europe. Excuse me, I'm thinking like multiple places. My mind's like drifting.
Correct, it has.
Yep. And Australia tomorrow. So, let's talk a bit about our Dave and my experiences with New Leaf, just to end things off here a bit.
But we have a special guest here.
Yep.
We should make him involved.
Animals, you've got to talk about that.
Are you sure?
Yes.
There's a bunch of Pikmin items in Animal Crossing. What are your thoughts?
That's true. Oh my gosh, I forgot. The Pikmin planter item. 3 Pikmin in a planter, and they say Pikmin if you touch them. How amazing. It's like poke Pikmin. Sorry.
Yep. So, yeah, I hope you guys in Europe enjoy Animal Crossing New Leaf. Yeah. There's not much we'll say on the matter besides it's a really fun game. Dave and I have been Dave has been coming to my town in the game for a while. Although I would like to see your town at some point, Dave.
My town sucks, but okay.
I keep saying there's no such thing as a bad town.
No, seriously, like I have all these flowers around my house, and the rest of my town is completely bare. Like I'm like, this is my place. Everyone else, you do with your place, and they kind of fell apart. But anyway, if you're a person watching this video and you in fact play Animal Crossing, here is a secret. If you go to the island, which will unlock as the game goes on, around 8 o'clock at night, catch the beetles, send them home, and sell them to retail for a lot of money. This is how you can pay off your debt, mortgage, service projects, or personal finances very quickly.
Finally, the Animal Crossing cards are back in Club Nintendo. I can order them.
Have fun.
I can now give these away next week during the giveaway.
There's a cat. I heard a cat.
Yeah, Kitty wants out. Kitten, come here.
Oh, and Daz.
Yes?
The spicy spray turns not only the Pikmin orange, but turns the flowers orange. It turns the Pikmin's bodies pink. All of them.
Ah.
So they were there spiced up.
So what do the pink Pikmin look like?
Super pink.
Super pink.
Like a very bright, radiant pink. They all glow very strange colors, too, like as if they're all wearing the spray around their entire body. Not just their flower. But sadly, I do not see the return of this ultra bitter spray because that was a little bit overpowered.
Yeah. Do you think there'll be something to replace it, like another type of potion?
Oh, I sure hope so. The yellow potion from Pikmin 2's beta appeared to do something different than the spicy or bitter spray, so I assume they bring something like that back. A nectar spray. Yes, a nectar spray. That's what I remember. There might be a nectar spray.
Hmm.
It would be interesting because underground, if there are not many eggs, there's a cat.
Yeah,
there might be useful to be nectar sprays because that's pretty nice, convenient, simple. But
It
whatever.
does seem like eggs are more scarce in this game. They're not so obviously placed like they are in Pikmin 2.
Oh, something drastic also I remember. There's no mention of a purple or pink inclusion in the onion. Do you have a feeling both white and purple Pikmin are absent from the Copaian's trek in story mode?
I think so, yeah. And we also never saw the purples and whites in the final cutscene of Pikmin 2, like they were still in the ship when the ship left off with all the treasure. So maybe somehow the Hockatations just kept them accidentally, so the Copaians never meet them.
It would make sense that way, but I don't think they would survive for very long on the ship's hull.
Yeah.
Kind of need to, breathe and stuff. Oh, that's right! During Pikmin 3's ending, another illusion, or Pikmin 3's ending, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Pikmin 2's ending, the illusion of, not illusion, delusion, no, illusion with an A, not an I, of the goldenness of the ship is what the onions reflect. It's beautiful because it's almost a poetic statement, because the ship is now golden. Olimar has achieved his mission of becoming truly rich, but in reality, the richness of the Pikmin is not in treasure, but from the gift of knowing Olimar. The onions at Pikmin glow because they are grateful for his presence. Not just the fact that they were there to help them, but the fact that they got to know Olimar. Just a theory, because the Pikmin are sentient. They're living beings. They're people. So I think that they might be grateful in a sense.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. I think we've reached the 130 mark.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, we have. So, let's end this off here. I am Nintendo up here to Z-Dude. Comment, like, and subscribe if you do. A link to Dazz's channel will be in the description. Check him out for Pikmin 3 theories, just like we've talked about here and there during this video. And, well, stay Z-Tastic, everyone.
Thank you all for watching. Daz, you want to close us out like with the final word?
What, you mean my normal outro thing here, you mean?
If you'd like.
Nah, we'll just go with something. That's an awesome ending.
It's been Daz, and we really did it in fact care. So
Goodbye,
We'll
everybody.
see you in a bit.